Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. It is Cowboy Tuesday, 8:30. Actually, it's 8:40 a.m. EST. Started a little bit late today. Just kind of got distracted by a letter I was writing. And yeah, these things happen. And there wasn't anything terribly important happening in the market anyway. I guess there will be something at 10 a.m. EST. What is that? Let me take a quick look at the at Forex Factory here. Where is that tab? Did I delete my tab? Give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and look at FOREX Factory. So Forex Factory calendar is what I use. If you're watching this show, if you watch any of these Sunday updates, a couple things to know. These red envelope events here at what is really 10 a.m. EST JOLTS job openings, that's going to move the markets around most likely. It's just depends on how close it is to the estimate. So we'll take a look around that time as to what happens. Any trades that I'm in, I'll tighten up the stops or take profit or manage the trade as I see fit. And that's not for another hour and a half. So got a little time before that. Now, another thing to mention is get your free algo. Links in the description. Go to the description. Let me fix this. I've got to do something while I talk here. Go to the description, give us real name, fake name. We don't care, right? Give us an email and you will have a free algo to test out. And if you really know what you're doing, there is a chance that you might be able to make that profitable. Yeah. I certainly have it as profitable when I trade it. But if you know what you're doing and you can optimize an algo, then that might work out for you. And if you can't, or even if you can, come on over to Algo Factory. We'll help you learn how to do all of that, become profitable trading with a hedge fund pro. So into the charts, NASDAQ right here just continues to go up. And that's what I said it would do. And if you watched the Monday weekly update that I put out yesterday, you will notice, especially if you saw the one from the prior week, that all my predictions from last week came true. And they don't always come true. Most of them tend to. You'll have some weeks where, Trump makes a surprise announcement and the market just goes haywire and there's no way to predict that was going to happen. And of course, predictions don't come true at that point, right? It just is what it is in markets. There's always that X factor. But in the absence of X factor, I'm just following the algos, this data at the bottom of the screen, and I look at a multi-time frame basis. As you can see on the screen here, this is multiple time frames, and it's not that hard to do. To learn how to do it does take a little time. Okay, so that's what we do though, and the result is that last week I was pretty accurate, and yesterday I did call that we would see what we're seeing today. In fact, let's go to yesterday's look. Is this it? Yeah, let's look on the NASDAQ. Pretty darn accurate. This is the drawing that I did yesterday. The receipts are online. You can go to the YouTube or Rumble or X and look, and this is what I said would happen. It's literally following the line that I drew. Now, will it continue to follow that line? We'll see. I left my prediction as ending on the FOMC, which is tomorrow. So tomorrow is FOMC. Markets may slow down a bit today as a result, right? So in anticipation of the FOMC, markets may slow down, and that'll be that, right? Whatever is going on might just kind of come to a halt. Volatility might disappear, and then we see things slow down. It is what it is. I'm just going to adjust a little trade. I have a small trade going on that I need to move my stop to the entry. Just give me just a moment to handle that. So NASDAQ continues up. I don't expect that to change. I think it will continue to push up. I just think it will slow down in its push upward, right? So we'll see what happens, all right? But that's what I expect. And the targets I had as of yesterday's video, which you can see here, are 23,650. And we may see that today. It might not happen until FOMC. And FOMC, look, I gave some quant data to Algo Factory privately today. And that quant data is making predictions based on two things. One is the FOMC. Will they hike rates? Will they cut rates? We shall see. The second is going to be the Bank of Japan. And this is a much bigger issue than people understand. So last year, the Bank of Japan decided to hike rates for the first time and the second time in 20 years. And what happened as a result? We saw a massive move down in the market. All right, so let's take a look at what happened, and let's take a look at what could happen if Japan decides to do the same thing again. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So we have here a move down that started in July, and this is in the Japanese yen US dollar. So they started changing the rate. They hiked the Japanese yen, making it more expensive and pushing it up compared to the dollar. So pushing the dollar down and compared to it. Now, how did this manifest in the stock market? That's what's key here, right? So in 2024, we got a pretty big move, almost as big as the move down for the tariff tantrum. Not quite, but within the same ballpark. So when Japan hiked their rate for the first two times in 20 years, the markets fell 17%, right? For comparison, the tariff tantrum, I think was about, what was it? 25%. So within that same ballpark. But this wasn't a bunch of tariffs. This wasn't Trump putting the lockdown on a bunch of different countries. This was just Japan hiking their rates just two minimal times. That's it. Dropped the entire NASDAQ 17%. And it was once in, I think, June and once in August. Understand that if the Bank of Japan begins to hike rates, the stock market will probably fall. And it may fall precipitously, especially if they hike rates again. And there was an article yesterday. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Now, you have to take all opinions with a grain of salt. This comes from an ex-policymaker saying that, let's look at the article. Taking a minute for the computer to catch up. What's going on here? Okay, enter. All right, let's see if we can do this a different way. It looks like maybe the article is having a tough time loading. We'll come back to that. We'll see if it's come up. In the meantime, let's head back to the charts and take a look at what might happen to Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin itself is ranging, and there's just not a lot going on. It's effectively ranging between about 116,000 and 120,000. Now, it is making a pretty reasonably clean bull flag, more or less. Of course, we had that big shock to the upside, all-time high, Moon Boys freaking out. But now we're seeing lower highs and lower lows. And this really is basically a bull flag. And what this means is that price tends to pop up after these play out on a high time frame. So if you zoom out, price probably will go up after this. Now, it may not. It may need to jump down to grab liquidity. And this is the same thesis that we've talked about for a long time. It's the same thing I said in yesterday's video. I don't feel the need to belabor it. But the real kind of TLDR here, since we're maybe running short on time because I started late, is either price is probably going to dive down to about 112,000 to get liquidity from this area. It could go a little deeper, but 112 is like the minimum dive down for liquidity. And it could range another few weeks. I mean, we might not see anything happen, but remember FOMC is tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with that. But at some point, it may have to come down to grab liquidity here. Now, if it does that, it may continue up. And my targets to the upside are 125,000, which we've already pretty much met at 123, and then 145,000. And 125, 123,000, that was my minimum top for this time around. 125,000 was my place where I'm like, okay, we might hit this. And I said this way back when, Bitcoin was below 70,000, that 125,000 was my minimum cycle top. And the sweet spot for me is around 145,000, and sort of the higher end of the sweet spot is going to be around 160,000 for Bitcoin. And we are nearing the time where that has to happen. Now, price might not dump down and grab 112. It might simply just go up, right? It might just break out to the upside. And again, the next place I'd be looking is 145,000. Will it go straight there? Probably not. But you know what? It's Bitcoin. That's all I got to say about it. Bitcoin can and will blow your mind. It will blow right through all of the stops, which is what it does. It'll take out the shorts. It'll punish the shorts. It is a beast in the bull, and we are in the bull, and the bull market probably will last through quarter four. So lots of time for this to play out, lots of time for this to build a kind of a floor here and then go up. We'll see about it. Let me take a look in the comments. I don't see any. Let's move on to, let me see. Yeah, it's been about 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is go on to the private live lab. So if you're watching this, whether you're watching it live, whether you are watching it on the recording, go to the description. Link is in the description, right? And you'll get a free algo. You get put on a list. We're going to do a workshop, just a 2-day workshop, watching me trade for a few hours, probably just the New York Open. And, I'll schedule it for 2 or 3 hours. And as long as the market is actually doing something, we'll keep it going. And as long as people have questions, we'll keep it going. And this workshop will be free. It will be soon. The next workshops will not be free. They will be paid, and they will be later. So please go in there, get your free algo. We'll get you on that list to let you know when the workshop is going to be. In the meantime, come on back tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. EST, if I'm on time, which I almost always am on time, just not today. And we'll go ahead and look at the charts. And remember, it's probably going to slow down a bit, right? We're in that situation where the market is going to be kind of on the edge of its seat. They're going to want to see what the FOMC does, hike rates, cut rates. And again, I did tell the Algo Factory private group what I think will happen based on some quant data and a few other things. Again, there is that chance that BOJ wants to hike the rates, but that may just all be hot air as well, right? So we just kind of have to see what happens as it happens. And remember, I don't really trade the news. I have a kind of a way where I can take advantage of the news a little safely, and I do show that to Algo Factory as well. So thank you all for watching. We will catch you on the flip side tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Thanks for watching and putting up with a little bit of tardiness. And also, don't forget,
join us or die.
Just kidding. You're not going to die. It's all a joke. Bye now.